Cyclone MMA. What's going on, everybody? My name is Mason from Cyclone MMA, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about some fighters that I'm worried about. Active UFC fighters that I think are going to be losing a lot more than they're going to be winning, and, you know, maybe it's not quite time to retire, but they should definitely not be taking top 15 fights. And these are guys that I think that, you know, their best days are behind them. We'll put it like that. It's not a very nice video. If you're a UFC fighter who's older and on a losing streak, I would recommend not watching this video. Click away, Tony Ferguson. Sorry, that shot's fired. Anyways, we're gonna move on. We're not talking about these fighters here, by the way, because Chuck's retired. A lot of these guys are retired. Silva and Couture and Connor, kind of. Anywho, we're gonna get into this. Michael Chandler's the first one on the list, guys. Michael Chandler. What do we say about Michael Chandler? The Michael Chandler experiment has been an interesting one. He's been fireworks. Like, you can't say it's a failure. What you can say is he's won 2 times and lost 5 times in his 7 UFC fights. You know, when he came onto the scene and knocked out Dan Hooker in the first round, you were thinking, like, oh, my God. This guy's going to be really good. Then you saw the first round against Charles Oliveira for the title. You're like, holy shit, Michael Chandler might be the best 155er on the planet, not named Khabib Nurmagomedov. And then Charlie Olive's got him, knocked him out. And then Justin Gaethje went to war with him and then won. And then Tony Ferguson messed him up in that first round, but then he knocked out Tony Ferguson. Then since then, it's been a Poirier submission, a decision loss to Oliveira, and then Paddy Pimblett finishing him with elbows and punches. Now, I am one of those guys when I don't give Paddy his credit, and like I agree he's a really good fighter. And when I saw that fight, I was not like, oh my God, Paddy's amazing. I was like, oh my God, Chandler's washed. Sorry, Paddy, you're really good. Maybe you'll be a champion one day. Who knows? Who knows? What I can say is Michael Chandler's 39 years old. There's that 170 pound and down stat where it's 35. That's when you kind of are at the end of your run and you're going to lose. We've seen that. I mean, it's 3 losses in a row now. If he gets the Conor fight, who knows? Conor, he could win that fight. Conor's been partying on boats and getting in trouble, and he's been away from the sport. But if you look at the 155-pound division, all the killers in that division, I don't see someone in the top 15 he can necessarily win against. I mean, there's killers in that division. Even the guys who are cusp, the Benoit Saint Denis, I don't know if I feel good about that. The Joel Alvarez's of the world, I don't know. I'm not feeling good about Michael Chandler where he's at in the sport right now. So, yeah, we're going to move on. Tai Tuivasa, everyone's favorite fighter. Everyone's favorite fighter's favorite fighter. Tai Tuivasa is on a 5-fight losing streak, and he somehow pulled off a 5-fight win streak a couple of years ago, knocking everybody out, knocked out Derek Lewis. But since then, he's been finished in just about every fight, and his last one is a decision loss against Jairzinho Rozenstruik. He lost to Tybura. He lost to Volkov. He lost to Pavlovich. Lost to Cyril Gane. These aren't bad losses, but you're dealing with a heavyweight division that just has a lot of heavy hitters, and if they're not heavy hitters, then they're ground specialists. And I heard Tai Tuivasa, I'm not throwing shade, I'm not trying to body shame anyone, but I heard he's rocking around at like 310 right now. 310 pounds. He's got to make the 265-pound limit. I mean, he's 32. He's young enough. He's got a career that's had some ups and downs. I mean, it was looking like he was going to fight for the title after that Cyril Gane fight, you know? I mean, if he won that thing, he was rocking Cyril Gane in that. 5 fights in a row losing is tough, especially in this heavyweight division. You wonder about the mileage. You wonder about the damage he's taken. I don't know. I'm not feeling good about this. Hearing that he was over 300 pounds is not great too. I mean, he could crush cans out of the top 15 placement in the rankings, but I have a feeling the UFC is going to try giving him top 15 and keep him floating in that area. Everyone loves him. I love this dude. I want to see Ty get back in the win column. But I'm not feeling great about it. I mean, 5 L's in a row is really, really rough. I mean, the guy is just very one-dimensional. He goes in there with the attempt to knock you out. And he's a smaller guy. It's not like he's super long. So, you know, I think If you can avoid that right hand, you're in business, but not feeling great about Tai Tuivasa. I'm hoping the dude can get back in the win column. Next is Jessica Andrade. This is a fighter who, back in the day, it was like an automatic. I'm like, yep, Andrade is fighting. I'm putting money on her. She's got a fight at 315 that I'm actually going to see. She's fighting Jasmine Jasudavicius. Butchered that last name. Sorry, Jasmine. But Jasmine's coming on. She's a young prospect. What do we want to say about Andrade? She's lost 4 of her last 6 fights. She had wins against Marina Rodriguez and Mackenzie Dern in there. The Mackenzie Dern one is like, I don't even think Mackenzie Dern's that good. If she can get it to the ground, she's good. But she's a fighter who's like a ground specialist, but can't get takedowns. I don't know. Marina Rodriguez is a good win. It was a split decision win. And when I was looking at her losses, it's like Yao Shannon, she's really good. Erin Blanchfield, she's really good. Tatiana Suarez, she's really good. Natalia Silva, it's like that's a fight a couple years ago she would win. She's 33, but if you look at her like mileage of the people she's fought, Valentina Shevchenko, Rose Namajunas, Weili Zhang, Yana Jacek, Raquel Pennington. She's got a lot of miles and a lot of tough fights she's had. When she was knocking people out and just destroying people, it was really easy to pick her. I think she's got to evolve, though, if she's going to win, and I'm just not feeling good about it. She's one of those fighters, too, who went up a weight class. She's a flyweight now. She's kind of undersized there. I know she's always been really big and strong, but I don't know. I don't feel like dropping down to her original weight class is going to help, and I don't see her really flourishing there in the flyweight division either. So I'm officially nervous about Jessica Andrade. Next we have is Colby Covington. Yeah, what do we say about Colby? I mean, he's been a dude in this division for a long time, but then you look at his wins, and none of them are even ranked in the UFC top 15. Jorge Masvidal is retired. Tyron Woodley's retired. Robbie Lawler's retired. Like, Robbie Lawler's so retired, he's in the Hall of Fame now. RDA, like, I guess he's still around. He's not even a 170-pound guy anymore, though. He's got losses against Usman twice. He's got a loss against Leon Edwards, and now he has a loss against Joaquin Buckley. And he's 37 years old. That's old for a 170-pounder. And it's one of those things, too, where the new generation is here, and you're not going to beat those guys. I don't see him being a Shavkat Rakhmonov. I think an Ian Gary fight, I think Ian Gary, like, out Colby Covington. Yeah, it's just, you look at the wins, and they're so aged. And he got knocked out by Joaquin Buckley. I don't know, man. I don't know. He's always a dog, and he's always got his cardio and his wrestling. But after the loss to Joaquin Buckley, I'm like, I think it's over for this dude. I think this division's just too good now. I mean, he couldn't beat Edwards. I mean, I could easily throw Leon Edwards into this division after he lost to Sean Brady and Bilal Muhammad. But I don't know. I'm not feeling good about Colby. I think he's older. I think the new generation's here, and he's not going to find a lot of success unless he fights really down in the 15 to 20 range. I know they don't even make rankings for those, but they're not going to give Colby Covington unranked fighters. That's another part of this is Colby Covington's got a big name. The UFC doesn't necessarily love the dude, so they're going to give him these monsters who are coming up in this 170-pound division, and they're going to just try to make a name off of these prospects with guys like Colby Covington. So not feeling great about it. I'm just realizing someone in this video I didn't make a graphic for. So we're going to talk about Marvin Vettori, and then we're going to get to the last guy who maybe I can slide an image in here. Marvin Vettori. This is just like a really like meat and potatoes type of fighter. That sounds bad, but it's just like solid striking, solid grappling, but just can't really finish guys. I mean, he has a submission win in the UFC. I think he's got 2 submission wins in the UFC, no knockouts. And it's another situation where, I mean, he's not old, he's 31, but in regards to mileage, he's kind of old. Like, he's never been knocked out, but he's had tough fights with Izzy and Robert Whittaker and Jared Cannonier and Roman Dolidze and these guys who can kind of hit pretty hard, good strikers. And it's one of those things where, you know, he's either going to outwork you and dog on you and punch you and grind up against you on the cage, get in the clinch, and grind out a victory. And that's how he would win back in the day. And The older he gets and the better these young prospects get, the harder it's going to be to do that. You know, he beat Roman Dolidze in a close fight in 2023, and then 2025 they fought again, and Dolidze got him. I think it's another thing, like I said with Colby Covington, the new generation's here, and I just don't know. I just don't know how I feel about Marvin Vettori here. I feel like you know, you're losing to Izzy and Robert Whitaker and Cannonier, and those are all guys who are also on their losing streaks, also taking their L's. It just seems like you need to be a specialist. You need to evolve. And a guy like Vettori, who doesn't have a ton of power, doesn't have a crazy finishing capabilities on the ground, seems like that's kind of a wrap. Like, I think he can hang around the unranked fighters and get some wins here and there, but it's going to be tough for him. It's going to be tough. I'm going to try to casually... There he is. All right, we're going to have to just have him creeping over in that graphic right there. Brian T. City Ortega is the next guy on this list. He's lost 4 of his last 6 fights. He's lost 3 of his last 4. He had a great win against Yair Rodriguez just last year, early last year. A fight where he got rocked in, came back and got a submission victory. And that's been the tale of Brian Ortega, getting beat up early and then snatching up a submission later in the game. And I just don't see that as a winning formula. Talked a lot about age. Brian Ortega's 34, so he's right at the end of that statistic where you turn 35 and you're not a title contender. I mean, we know right now Ortega's not a title contender. He lost to Volk, he lost to Yair, and he lost to Diego Lopez. I mean, he's only fought elite guys and only lost to elite guys in the UFC. But the Diego Lopez fight did not look good. He did not look good in that fight at all. In fact, I thought he was going to get finished in that fight. And, I mean, he hung on. He survived. But, again, this 145-pound division is too good. Like, maybe he can snatch up a few more submission victories. But, you know, the days of submitting Renato Moicano and Cub Swanson, I think, is over. I think you gotta have more than a submission to win. I thought when he fought Korean Zombie and he outstruck that dude, that he figured something out and he was gonna evolve. But since then, it just hasn't looked great. I don't think it's gonna look better. You're gonna give, if you're the UFC, you're giving Ortega 2 more guys in the top 15, and if he loses those, I just don't know how I feel about it. So that's the video. Those are the fighters that I'm worried about. Let me know what you think. Let me know the fighters who you think could be going on losing streaks. Might not have a lot of wins ahead of them. I hope this isn't the case for these guys. I like all these fighters for the most part. Not you, Colby. Sorry. But, yeah. Please be sure to like this video and subscribe if you enjoyed. And more MMA content coming soon. Peace, guys.